Hello everybody and welcome to episode 23 of Beardychiel's Knitting Banter, and this one I have called First Festive Frolic because it's the start of the festive season. I have on my Christmas jumper, I have my little light up Christmas tree beside me, I have some strange after effect visions of flying reindeer. What can I say? It's that time of year when people around the world celebrate for all sorts of reasons. A time for giving, a time for receiving, and for some people a time of great religious joy, and for some people all sorts of things. But most importantly for us in the knitting community, a time for yarny presents, Christmas knitting in front of the TV, or the occasional Christmas virtual knit night with friends. So, my name is John Glenn, the host of Beardychiel's Knitting Banter, and I welcome you to the podcast. If this is the first time you've dropped in, welcome, and I hope you enjoy your time with us. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for returning. It's always nice to have you back. It's amazing how much fun the knitting community can be. It never ceases to amaze me. Every time I speak to people, it gets better and better. Today, we have a few things. I have my scribbled, this is what you're going to talk about, you silly old fool. So we have some works in progress, which I recorded in the comfy armchair the other day. Put the SD card into an SD card carrier to plug it into the next machine because it was a micro SD card from my GoPro, and I haven't found it yet. So if there's no works in progress in this episode, I'll tell you later that I haven't found it, and I'll put it up as soon as it appears. It could be a separate 20 or 30 minute Christmas whips, but we'll survive. There are some finished objects. There is some stash enhancement. There's 3 bits of stash enhancement. I wasn't planning to have any at all, but fate has taken over. There are 2 cals on the go. Well, there's 1 cal on the go and 1 cal finished. I have some pattern updates for you, information on the Rhodes Retreat. I have a giveaway courtesy of another designer and podcaster. I have some Christmas giveaways of my own to do. What else have I got? Oh, I've got a little update from Perth Festival of Yarn 2018. As you know, in fact we'll start there today for a change. As you know, I chat on a fairly regular basis with my friend Eva Christie, the director of Perth Festival of Yarn, and I help by contributing development work to their website. And speaking to Eva about the planning for the coming year, she said that I could give the following information in this podcast, and that is that there are 2 email addresses that people need to be aware of if they're interested in Perth Festival of Yarn. There is a general email address for anyone who wishes to attend as a potential customer. Now, whether that's just for the marketplace and you're looking to buy fibres, yarns, equipment or whatever, whether you're potentially looking for information on classes or on anything else this year, pattern collection, whatever, there's a new email address in place for you. It's hello@perthfestivalofyarn.uk. I'll say that again while it's on the bottom of the screen. hello@perthfestivalofyarn.uk. It's also on the front page of the Perth Festival of Yarn website, and you can get information there, or if you drop an email saying that you're interested, as they put out this year's newsletters, the newsletters will come straight to your email inbox and you'll have all the information to hand, nice, sharp, as soon as it's fresh, rather than waiting for me podcasting or Eva doing a podcast. So that's number one. For the vendors, the people who normally come along and sell their yarns, fibres, equipment, etc, 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 the email address for you is vendors@perthfestivalofyarn.uk. I'll say that one again while it's across the bottom of the screen. vendors@perthfestivalofyarn.uk. And all the information on vendors are to be included in a vendors mailing list for application dates and things. That'll make sure you're on the appropriate mailing list and you get the information. Other than that, the work in Perth Festival of Yarn has started for next year. Eva's been at the background planning stages for quite a while now, and over the Christmas period, the highlights of 2017, sorry, the photographic highlights of 2017 will be added to the website. So you can go in, see what was happening last year and help make yourselves decide, or let yourselves decide, do you fancy being part of next year? So that'll be fun. The photographs have started to arrive and I'll put those up probably, if I get a chance, I might get half a dozen or so up over the weekend. And then I'll try and get some more up just after Christmas. So that's that bit, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's exciting that we're starting already, but as you've heard me say before, it's a year-long process to get an event like that organised, so an early start is important. When are we going to start now? Let's start with the whips. If there are any, I'll put them in here. If not, I'll be straight back after this short edit. Hi guys, I'm back. Now you may have watched whips, you may not have watched whips if I didn't find them. Either way, we're going to move on now, and if you've just had a 3-second, what the heck is he on about moment, don't worry, it's not your age, it's mine. So what will we do next? Pattern update. As you know, oh sorry Snowman, say bye bye, bye bye. As you know, I have been working away for a while on the pattern called the Hooded Bat. It's a bat wing shaped shawl with a knitted in hood. The prototype was done over the summer, the pattern was written, it's been re-knitted by myself and it's been out to test knitters. It's been tweaked and adjusted to make the reading a little bit easier. Charts have been checked, adjusted, corrected if necessary, and one of my test knitters is completely finished and cast off. The other one is just about to finish, I believe, and I have to say they're looking good. Consequently, I have half a dozen photographs to take to finish off the pattern before publication, and my plan is to publish that pattern just after Christmas Day. Now, why just after Christmas Day? Well, people sometimes want to start some Christmas knitting. They may just have some chunky or some Aran weight yarn sitting in their stash waiting for an appropriate project. So if you have that spare, what, 400 grams of Aran or 500 grams of chunky sitting around, then be prepared. You might just fancy knitting the Hooded Bat. So that should go up shortly. Now, while I've been saying all this, I'm hoping that the Christmas tree has had a photograph in front of it of the front page of the Hooded Bat shawl. And that is it for patterns at the moment. The Tulip and the Rose is online, and the Cal for the Tulip and the Rose is running through until the end of January. There is a discount code for anyone who wants to participate in the Cal, and that is Macintosh 2017. across the bottom of the screen, and if you put that code in, you're going to get a lovely pattern discount if you're fancying participating in the CAL. There's a thread open for the Tulip and the Rose knit along. Feel free to drop into it in the Ravelry group and let us know you're knitting the shawl. There have been some purchases, there are some sort of advertising copies have gone out to folk. Some folk have won some as prizes through giveaways elsewhere, and I'm delighted with that. So good luck to you, enjoy them. It has been fun to knit, and really those two announcements should take me into finished objects, because I have one of each of those as a finished object. But before we get to the physical finished objects, let's get to the ones which aren't here. So the first one we have is, if you remember the last time we were together, I was working on some seashell based yarn hat and mitts for great niece Emily. Photograph here. They have gone to Emily because there's no point in hanging on to those until the next podcast, when Little Head could be using them, or Little Hands could be using them to keep warm. So they've gone, they were great fun. The seashell from Flora Fibres was lovely to work with, felt incredibly silky. I wondered, sometimes with natural fibres like that, you wonder if you're going to get a decent bounce or pull in the rib. It was absolutely fine. These sleeves are a bit on the baggy side, but hey, what do you expect in a commercial sweater? So that was fine. Absolutely fine. She seems to have liked those. The next finished object was a piece of double knitting, and it was an Aran weight headband. Just a couple of simple Fair Isle motifs run around a headband for Emily's mum. She says, I've got a lot of hair, I don't like putting it in a hat, headbands are great, please can I have one, Uncle John? I know I'm not going to make anything out of the pattern, I'm not going to write a pattern for it. I know that I'm never going to make any money out of things like that. But hey, I'm a doting uncle, what can I say? So I knitted it. Photograph here, it's already on and worn, and she's extremely happy with it, and it was great fun to knit. Finished object number 3. Again, Uncle John. Oliver's hands keep getting cold and he doesn't have gloves because he keeps losing them. I wish I had mitts on a string like when I was little. And I thought, I remember my mother knitting those for all of the grandkids when my children and Megan's siblings and cousins were young. So there was some Aran sitting out from knitting her headband. And photo at the side again, one pair of mitts and one long I-cord to hold the two of them together were duly put together and delivered to young Oliver, who you can see wearing them and testing them, and quite happy he is with them as well. He kept them on for all of 1 minute and then said, off! To which his mum and his Aunt Sarah went, okay. But hopefully when he's out in the cold and his fingers are cold, he'll realise how useful they are. But what can you do? The little ones need to be kept warm, and if I get a demand for a pair of gloves, I am going to knit a pair of gloves. I can't help it, I'm just an old softy. Good heavens, that reindeer just flew in my ear. But it didn't come out the other side, so I don't know where it's gone. So that was that one. So that takes us to the two, here we are, play with us, finished objects. So the number 1 is the hooded bat. Now I did say to you that I was working on this version of the hooded bat, which is knitted in Aran weight yarn, all from North Ronaldsay Sheep in Orkney. 3 colours, a grey, a cream and a brown, which has been over dyed with greens, blues and reds. And it's a large shawl when you finish it. From tip to tip, this shawl measures 10 feet 5 inches, which is 3.17 meters. Right? So that is absolutely massive, as my friend Helen Sprite966 would say. The batwing edge, created with brioche at the bottom, looks fine. I chose not to stripe it, but to do it entirely in the over-dyed colours. This particular shawl used 100 grams of grey, 100 grams of beige and 185 grams of the multicolour. So it's just under 400 grams for the shawl. And I can honestly say I have worn it several times. I went out in it the other day and my daughter said, "Are you wearing a shawl, Dad?" And I said, "No, it's a hooded scarf, dear." To which she said, "You're an old man, you're eccentric, do what you like." And I duly did. So this is absolutely gigantic. If I let it drape over my shoulders, the drape on the back of it, excluding the hood, is about 25 inches, which on most people is quite big. The hood is not tight. I've deliberately left it as slack as I could get it on the front edge. There is a little bit of rib to pull it in at the bottom, but when I was putting it together, I was aware of the fact that some people like to have a hat as well, and I thought if I make it too small for those people who sometimes want a hat as well, it's just not going to fit. So this is there. The long ends, you can, as I say, you can wrap them around if you wish. They're absolutely wonderful. I've had it out in the rain, I've had it out in the wind. I was going to model it myself for photographs, and then I thought, maybe not, I'll try and find someone a bit more attractive. So when the final pattern appears, you'll find that it's being modelled by my darling daughter and or daughter-in-law. Because I'm going to get them to stand still for me and play with it, because it is just such good fun. The North Ronaldsay yarn was lovely to work with. It is wool, it smells like wool, although in saying that, it smells a little bit still of some fabric softener at the moment from when it had its last wash, before it was blocked. The needle size that I used, 5.5mm, is just slightly bigger than you would for some yarn, and that's given it a nice drapey quantity, which I wanted, so I'm happy with that. Some people may not be, but I enjoyed that. That came out really, really well. So the hooded bat, one finished object. And the other thing that came off the needles, which you would have seen in works in progress if it was running. I've had this on the go for a while. This is the Tulip and the Rose. This is a 5-section tulip and rose as opposed to a 6-section. So it is just a semicircle. Slight change in this one. I decided I was enjoying knitting that brioche batwing edge on the hooded bat, and I thought, I wonder what that would look like on the end of the tulip and the rose. As the designer, I'm entitled to mess around. This went over the 200 grams because of the brioche. I discovered that I was going to end up playing yarn chicken at the end of the green. And I thought, okay, I do have another green which I think will create a reasonable edge, and I had sort of 20 grams, 15 to 20 grams of the pink left, which I thought would make an absolutely perfect single row cast off on this. So here we are. This one is absolutely fine. It's an arm span and a little bit, so it's just over 6 feet wide, and just over 3 feet deep. And excuse me for a second, It's a nice around the shoulders, lightweight shawl. I would be quite happy wearing that because I don't give a tinker's curse about colours. I love it. I love the texture. The yarns in this from oh heavens, the green from Black Isle Yarns, the pink from the fabulous Mr. G. I have to say to both dyers and yarn manufacturers, stunning yarns to work with, absolutely gorgeous, lovely textures, really nice finish on the yarns. The green at the end is some 3-ply lambswool that I had, which matched the sort of thickness of the other two yarns, and I am absolutely delighted with it. The stripes detract a little from the lace pattern, but the lace pattern is most definitely there because I can see you through it and you can see me. I love the pink and I love the green. Oh, he says elbowing the tree. Throwing it around this way and tucking it in again is something that's going to drape. It is a really, really, really comfy shawl. I really like it. I haven't decided whether or not to write up that little brioche amendment for the finish. I had gone for a simple 6 rows of garter stitch on the original. I enjoyed knitting that little brioche edge. On this one it's not symmetrically centred. There's a 4-stitch miscount at one end, which I just knitted because it's for myself. So I dare say if I was putting it into the pattern, I'd put a 2-stitch and 2-stitch, or a 2 brioche pair and 2 brioche pair correction into it. It's really, really straightforward. It doesn't have a decrease on every, to match every brioche increase. There's only a decrease matched to every second brioche increase on this one, which means that the curves in here between the points are much gentler. They're not as sort of 45-degree pull in as the bat wing on the hooded bat. So this is it. The tulip and the rose in 2 colours. I've thoroughly enjoyed re-knitting it. The pattern I still enjoy. What am I going to do with it now that it's finished? Do I keep it and wear it myself? Well, I have the bravado to do that. Do I give it away as a present to one of the members of the family? There's potential there as well, but I'm really, really tempted to keep it and wear it to festivals because it's not too heavy, it's fun, and yeah, the tulip and the rose in 3 colours. You could probably do the edge in 2 colours if you had enough of one of them, but absolutely wonderful fun. The only thing about it, which having been through it twice now, is when you get to that last sort of section, that last outer green section, when you suddenly have sort of 500 stitches, and those 500 stitches, look at that, I mean, when you fold this up, it becomes quite tiny. As a fingering weight shawl, it doesn't take up a lot of space, but oh, the squidge on it is absolutely scrummy and wonderful. I absolutely adore it. I really love that. Excuse me, time for a drink. Yeah, festive drink from Beardychiel. A glass of Diet Coke. And I have to say, as far as Beardychiel as a business goes, this is the Beardychiel Christmas party. Welcome to it. I am the only employee, me. So I'll pull a cracker with myself and have fun. Yay! So, is that the end of the finished object? I do believe it is. Which takes us on quite nicely to either stash enhancement or a little bit of information for Beardychiel's Rhodes Retreat 2018. What will we do first? Let's do the Dragon Scale Sock Cal winners, because I haven't podcasted since that finished. I did start to record the podcast, which is when I'd done the works in progress, but the preparations for the festive season and one or two a string of engagements as a different persona have been required. You'll understand that shortly. Consequently, every time I've sat down to try and put this bit together, I'll be back. There's the door. Well, sorry about that. The door went. It was my mate Callum Hossick, the chimney sweep, coming in to drop off a Christmas card and generally have a blether. So I'm afraid the lighting has changed because I've been away for about 15-20 minutes. Where was I? Tulip and the Rose, Shaw was finished. Cal winners, Dragon Scale Cal. Oh dearie me. The winners of the Dragon Scale Cal were, now there were two prizes. One was a Beardychiel pattern of your choice for the runner-up, and the winner was supposed to receive this. Now, this is Felix Felicis Truth Potion by Lise Condis of Trellis Yarns. So that and a Colour is Power Trellis project bag can go off now in the post, because I've done the podcast, to Marion in Germany, Ravelry name Mary-Mary, who test knitted for me the Forest Floor shawl a year and a bit ago, and a very nice test knitter she is as well. So I was delighted when she won that. The runner-up prize went to Audrey, known as Audabod, and Audrey has selected her shawl from the Ravelry shop, and I have sent that off to her and she's delighted with that. And that was the winners for that Cal. The Tulip and the Rose Cal, I said, will continue until the end of January for anyone who wants to participate. So what does that take us on to next? Rhodes Retreat. Beardychiel's Rhodes Retreat, May 2018. Having spoken to the hotel, we still have some spaces available. There are 30 odd spaces away, and we could take a couple more quite happily, and the hotel have said they're happy for us to leave bookings open until the end of January. So those of you who wanted to get Christmas out of the way before you thought about making decisions, I am happy, the hotel are happy, and we will see you hopefully in the new year, deciding that yes, you think you can make it fit. And feel free to get onto the Beardychiel website, www.beardychiel.uk, and you can make your booking there. And I think that's just about everything for that bitty. So that takes us on to stash enhancement. Whoa! First piece of stash enhancement came in the post from Grace at Babbles Yarns. And Grace, when I was putting together the Tulip and the Rose, agreed to dye up two colourways to complement the pattern. And she took the original stained glass window inspiration that I had looked at for the pattern, and she came up with two yarns, one La Tulipe and one La Rose, both looking and both using the softer pastel backgrounds of the stained glass windows along with some of the stronger colours that were built into them. And this is the Tulip, and as you can see, it's a lovely, it's washing out a bit on camera, it's a really soft green with specks and flecks, with speckles and flecks of green pinks, purples, reds, the colours that were in the tulips themselves, the darker green of the stem and the leaf are reflected in there. So it's going to produce a very, very light version of the shawl, which I am delighted to say will pick out the lace effect quite beautifully. So that's La Tulipe. And the other thing that she sent me was the version called the Rose. And this is the Rose. I'm sliding it out of its band because it is absolutely stunning. All of the colours that were in the roses in that original Charles Rennie Mackintosh stained glass window are there. The green of the stems and the leaves, and there's even some really dark green and blacks from the leaded light sections of that stained glass window included in this. It is a really nice base, and these two fingering weight yarns are sitting here, and I really have to say thank you, Grace, so much for sending them to me. I wanted to buy them and she wouldn't let me. So Grace, you are an absolutely stunning friend, a beautiful dyer. These yarns are lovely. The bases, I'll tell you, for these are a merino sock base. It's 100 grams, 400 meters, 75% merino superwash, mulesing free, 25% nylon. Absolutely scrummy. I am obviously going to have to knit one more set of that shawl, but I won't be starting that until the new year because I've got other problems and other projects which need to come first. So that was that one. The next one was, my wife and I were in Inverness, and she had gone into Hobbycraft to look for glitter and things for Christmas, and she said, let's look through the reduced wool and see what's there. And I came across this. It's just a bright purple acrylic and wool blend, or is it just an acrylic? Where is it? It's 100% acrylic, and I was looking for something high speed for the kids, and I like knitting in wool for them, but when I'm knitting in wool for the kids, it's a pain for their mums because they get so dirty so quickly and they need to get in and out the washing. So I have got 400 grams of this purple, which was basically a pound a ball. And at a pound a ball, it means you get a sweater in terms of materials for about £1.50 for the tiny littles, or for 100 grams is more than enough for the babies. So dual bright purple work quite nicely as little bits of enhancement on something else, or on its own with some white as a pattern within it, or some other colours thrown in. Or for some double DK weight prototyping. I don't know. Haven't decided yet, so that's there. There is also, sitting beside me, whoa, this bag of bits of acrylic, which was ordered from Wool Warehouse just 6 days ago, because my wife, in her infinite wisdom, decided that our two younger grandsons, Reuben and Leo, have a favourite person. They have a favourite TV character at the moment. And she said, well, why don't we do something for Christmas using their favourite TV character? And I thought, that's a great idea. Let's go and see what toys we can find. Well, at the same time she said that, I got a message from my friend Fiona Murray on Facebook saying, John, do you have in your collection, or do you know where I could find details of a copy of a pattern that features Disney's Beauty and the Beast? My sister would like to knit for her 3-year-old and she hasn't been able to find a pattern. I thought if anybody knows, you will know. Now I know that in our pattern collection at home there are some Disney books. So I said to Janet, where are the Disney books? And she said, I can't remember what cupboard I've put them in, hang on, I'll go and look. And when she came back she said, we don't have Beauty and the Beast. We've got all the traditionals. She said, we've got Goofy, Pluto, Mickey, Minnie, Donald, we've got a Sleeping Beauty, we've got a Cinderella, and there's a Snow White, and there's a Dopey the Dwarf. But we don't have the newer ones, we don't have a Sleeping Beauty. I said, oh dear, we don't have a Beauty and the Beast. So I thought, right, okay, let's have a hunt online. Not necessarily for an entire sweater, let's just find if anyone is marketing a chart for Beauty and the Beast. And lo and behold, I found via Pinterest an appropriate chart which she can get in touch with the manufacturer and buy, which can be knitted onto the front of any simple sweater for a 3-year-old. The stitch count looked as if it would be just a bit suitable. So that was fine. But Janet said, look what I have found, and produced this, which we've had since our own kids were little. It's a Postman Pat pattern book. Now, for the grown-ups in my family, if you're watching this, Louise, don't let the kids see the next bit before Christmas. Watch this podcast after Christmas. Because both Leo and Ruben at the moment are absolutely fanatical about Postman Pat. And Janet decided, with a week to go before Christmas, we will have 2 of these please. So 6 days ago the order went to Wool Warehouse, last Saturday. On Monday the yarn arrived. And since Monday, I have been locked in sweater production. So I have one intarsia front done. The second one is in progress. It's a whip. Janet's on sleeves and backs. And then I'm on sewing up on collars. And we are hoping that by Sunday night these can be put into an appropriate parcel. Marked, with love from Granny and Granda. So if anyone's trying to contact me in the next 48 or 36 to 48 hours and you get absolutely no response, don't be surprised, because I'll have my head in that book trying to get the other Postman Pat front finished, or I'll be sewing up and putting collars onto jumpers. And that'll be absolutely fine, because that's what we do when we're grandparents. So that was the other bit of stash enhancement, some cheap and cheerful easy wash acrylic, courtesy of Wool Warehouse, in jewel bright colours to let us create Fireman Sam. If I knit Fireman Sam instead of Postman Pat, Patrick Post, for those of the Gaelic community, I will be in serious trouble. I'll try not to do that. Now, you know, as I'm sitting here and the light's fading, the lights on this wee tree are getting brighter and brighter because it's got a big lamp inside it. Anyway, that's another story. So that finishes that bit. What else have I got in this little book? Let's see. Oh yes, I have a giveaway. Now, my giveaway is the Sancta Lucia socks by Anna Friedland, better known as Yarnisty. And Anna published this pattern last week and said, John, would you be willing to do a giveaway in your podcast? And I said, yes, I would love to. So Anna has given me a copy of Sancta Lucia for my own purposes, for my own use, and she's offered a copy as a giveaway prize for you folks watching the podcast. And all you have to do to win is send me on the Ravelry group to the Yarnesty giveaway thread that I will open. Let me hear what your favourite piece of Christmas food is. What's your favourite Christmas dish? And don't say Beardychiel. I know it. Can't resist it. Stunningly handsome as I am. Your favourite Christmas dish. Be it the roast tatties, be it the turkey and all the trimmings. Are you someone who looks forward to the smoked salmon? Is it a specific family recipe that only comes out once a year? Tell us what your favourite Christmas dish is. And the Christmas dish will get a copy of the Sancta Lucia socks. The closing date for entries for that is the last day in December. Okay, so New Year's Eve at midday. 12 noon on New Year's Eve for the Sancta Lucia socks. That gives everyone about a week to catch up on the podcast and participate in the giveaway if you wish. So I have to say the pattern is lovely. Having downloaded and looked at my PDF copy, it's a really nice looking sock. Where I'm going to fit time in to knit it, I don't know, but I know I want to. So that's that one. What else have I got for you? Oh yes, I do have one other bit. Now I did say to you that over the Christmas period podcasting and everything else get put to one side because there was some manufacturing and there was some knitting to desperately be finished, some pattern work to do, and it all just kept interfering with my time for podcasting. And there were one or two other engagements. So rather than do the last bit myself, I will hand over to my friend who will quite happily tell you about Beardychiel's Christmas and New Year giveaway and special offer. Back in a second. Ho ho ho! Hello everyone! I'm here visiting John and Thurzo. Yes, he and I have done a lot of work this year together, visiting some of the younger people and older people in the local community. And he asked me if I would come along and speak to you today about Beardychiel's Christmas giveaways. Could be a Beardychiel myself with a beard like this, do you not think? Beardychiel's Christmas giveaways this year are going to be a wee bitty different. You know that for the Yarnesty giveaway he's asked what your favourite Christmas food is, your favourite Christmas dish. Well, for the Beardychiel's Christmas giveaway this year, all he wants to know is what has been your favourite piece of knitting this year. Beardychiel's Christmas giveaway, what was your favourite piece of knitting? And he will not be giving any unfair advantage to someone who's knitted a piece of Beardychiel's patterns. That may or may not be a lie. We'll wait and see. But there are several prizes. And we will start with Now these were given to Beardychiel to use as giveaway prizes. This is some Lallan's yarn and a pattern by Di Gilpin, and there's 50 grams of yarn in here. There is a sample pattern, and there is a postcard giving you details of Di's studio. So that's prize number 1. Prize number 2, courtesy of Caledonia Dye Works, we have these 2 lovely minis, which will come to some lucky runner-up. A runner-up number 3 is getting a Ninja Pop from Sheila Hewitt, the Dye Ninja, which is a lovely sort of pastel tangerine colour. I love this. It's a really, really nice base as well. And it's, where are we? It's called Sunset Song. It's 100% superwash merino fingering, and it's 20 grams. So we have that. We have a couple of pattern giveaways as well. We have from Beverly Dot at Fair City Knits. We have her, where are we? Autumn Leaves Tammy. Picture of which is there. So there's a copy of the Autumn Leaves Tammy pattern available for you. And for anyone who's wanting to get ahead of next year's Christmas sock knitting, there's this Festive Christmas Stockings pattern by Janice Anderson. It's an absolutely gorgeous pattern, and you will have loads and loads of fun with it. So we have 3 Yarny prizes, and we have 2 pattern prizes. Beardychiel will also throw in a choice of Beardychiel's patterns. And all I want to know for that one, as I said before, what has been your favourite piece of knitting in 2017? So, send the information to Santa's giveaway in the Beardychiel Ravelry group, and you'll automatically go into the draw for these prizes. Now, Beardychiel, being a practical sort, said to me, a lot of these people over Christmas and New Year decide they want to cast on a new project. So, to try and make that a little easier for everyone, Beardychiel has decided that he's going to do, I don't know how he described it to me. What was it he said again? Oh yes. Tell him he's going to do a nerdy new cast on. Now nerdy, New Year's Day, nerdy is the Scots term for New Year's Day. So a nerdy cast on discount, which will run from the day this podcast goes live until the 2nd of January. 2nd of January? No, that's not long enough. Some folk will still be eating their Christmas dinner leftovers. From the day this podcast goes live until the 14th of January, Beardychiel will offer a 15% discount on all Beardychiel patterns for New Year cast-ons. The code for this in Ravelry is nerdy discount. Bottom of the screen, nerdy discount. From Beardychiel and from Santa, have a very, very, very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a joyous Saturnalia, whatever festival you celebrate at this time of year. Have a wonderful time. Have a happy and prosperous 2018, and we'll see you in the new year. Cheery bye!